Good evening, Mark. Thank you for inviting me, firstly. That's right. It was very difficult to get a diagnosis. And in the end, in absolute sheer desperation, I was able to find a private doctor and secured an appointment with her. And as soon as she saw me, she just referred me right back to the NHS as an emergency case. And that was 3 months after I'd first appeared at my local hospital with the side effects.
And you've spent thousands and thousands of you're a UK taxpayer. You've paid for the NHS, and then suddenly you need it, and instead you find yourself having to pay thousands and thousands of pounds yourself for what you need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. I'm not the only one, though. I'm pretty certain of that. At the time, the hospitals were very busy, as you know, with COVID cases and the like, and you know, trying to get your point over to explain what's wrong with you when you're not certain what's wrong yourself, but you're fundamentally sure because of the pain that you're in and the problems that you have with your eyesight and things like that and falls. In the end, you just want somebody who's going to listen to you, and if the only way you can get that is to pay for them, then you know, I don't see how I had any choice at the end of the day. And I'm glad I did what I did.
Now, you actually started falling, quite serious falls, because you wound up breaking all your teeth and everything. And so we want to be fair to the NHS. The NHS did actually provide you with a walking stick. Is that correct?
Yeah, I brought it along with me today, which you know, I'm quite proud of it. You know, I'm pleased. I'm lucky that I've got it. In actual fact, so the one that I had before, I bought from a second-hand shop because I was just too concerned.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I was too concerned.
That's a fantastic thing, though. You've been a British taxpayer all your life. You paid for the NHS in your taxes, and although they couldn't do anything, they gave you this vaccine. The vaccine has wrecked your life, but at least they gave you that walking stick.
Yeah, I got the walking stick. Must have been end of February, so that's about 9 or 10 months after my vaccine.
Marvellous. Absolutely terrific service. How do you feel about this? Because basically the DVLA took away your driving license, so you can't drive. You've had severe economic impacts from this, and yet at the same time, the state, the NHS, they're not there for you.
Well, it's. You know, obviously with the blood clot continuing on my brain and the falls that I've had, I'd be a risk driving. So I actually reported my condition to the DVLA in October last year, and they've just got round in the last couple of weeks to actually telling me that on receipt of the medical information that had been provided by my GP, etc., that I can't drive now until I've made a recovery. You know, that I accept. It's been a huge life-changing journey for me. I'm not anti-vax, you know. I went forward when I was asked, but you know, it was for social reasons. But I can't understand why, you know, you can be asked to go and take the vaccine willingly. I go, you know, I want to protect those around me, and then when something happens to people like myself, there's no one to back you up. There's no sort of system in place that will sort of throw its arms around you and say, right, you know, here's how we're going to project manage this, here's how we're going to take you forward and put you back on the road to recovery.
Well, you're a healthy middle-aged man until you had this vaccine stuck in your arm. So you had no medical need to take this virus. As you said, you did it for social reasons on the assumption, which turned out not to be true, that if you had the vaccine, you then didn't pass it to other people. As I said, we know that not to be true now. So the government basically leaned on everybody in the country from the age of 3 to 103 to get this thing. That's extremely unusual. Do you think there should be compensation for those who never needed to get it, like yourself, and then it goes horribly wrong, you can't drive, you're falling over, the NHS has got nothing to do but give you a walking stick 10 months later? Do you think the state owes it to these citizens such as yourself to come up with a proper scheme to take care of you for what essentially they told you to do?
Yeah, I think definitely they should, and they should have had something in place when they launched the vaccines to underpin it, just in case anything did actually go wrong for people. There's nothing worse than when you're diagnosed, you ask, well, who do I turn to for help? And people just say, well, I don't know. And then you look for yourself and you actually find that there's nobody there. And it's quite horrifying, really, because you realise, suddenly you're on your own. You've got a vaccine-induced blood clot on your brain. And, you don't I didn't understand the condition. Certainly knew it was serious, but I didn't know who do you go to. So, yeah, I think there should be some form of support network, some form of compensation that's going to help people get through the hardship of it all until they, whilst they're making their recovery, if they make their recovery. And of course, there's people who have died. I mean, who's going to look after their sort of families? Going on. Charlotte, for instance, as you said earlier, 2 small kids. How's that going to happen?